Your Steve Jones Show podcast will start shortly. The Steve Jones Show podcast is sponsored by Brewers Outlet, your beverage supermarket on Reagan Street in Sunbury. Sports talk where your voice counts. This is the Steve Jones Show on News Radio 1070 WKOK. Now from the Sunbury Motor Studio, here's Steve Jones.
Hey there, day after Thanksgiving, Black Friday edition of the Steve Jones Show, News Radio 1070 WKOK. Steve is, believe it or not, going to actually be in the Sunbury Motors studio for the first time in about a week and a half. Steve checks in a few. Sunbury Motors, Ford, Lincoln, Hyundai, North 4th Street Auto Plaza, Sunbury, and Sunbury Motors Kia on the Strip, routes 11 and 15 in Hummel's Wharf. We hope you and your family had a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday yesterday. Yesterday, a travel day. For Jonesy, he's heading back from Cancun, Mexico, from the Cancun Challenge with Penn State, with a lost Bradley in the championship game. Fought hard, but Bradley pulling away in the second half in the finale on Wednesday night from Cancun. So we'll get Steve's take on that. And, of course, we dial into Senior Day tomorrow at Beaver Stadium, Penn State, Maryland, a little over 24 hours away. Pre-game will be on this time tomorrow afternoon here on WKOK, streaming at WKOK.com, and, of course, on the WKOK app, and kickoff just after 3:30 with Penn State and the Terrapins. Friday edition of our Steve Jones Show brought to you by Brewers Outlet, the beverage supermarket on Reagan Street in Sunbury. So while you were enjoying the Thanksgiving feast yesterday, did you end up short on a couple of your favorite beverages? Well, come on, let's go. You got a great weekend of football. I mentioned Penn State, Maryland a little bit ago. Of course, the precursor tomorrow. You've actually had great games tonight. We'll have that in our pick segment later. Even you got Oklahoma, West Virginia tonight. You got Washington State, the Apple Cup tonight. Winner of that game could win the whole Pac-12 championship. Yeah, that's tonight. And, of course, the game tomorrow, Michigan, Ohio State before Penn State, Maryland. So, and the great NFL slate on Sunday, including Steelers, Broncos. So you got to make sure you got all the beverages you want and need and love. And we love these Brewers Outlet specials. Lots of specials through Tuesday. And I was floored when I saw this. Genesee 12-pack cans, $4.95. That's not a 6-pack. That's for a 12-pack. Genesee 12-pack cans, $4.95. I got to find a lower price than that. Seagram's 24-pack bottles, $21.98. Labatt 30-packs, $19.95. Pacifico 12-pack cans, $9.95. New Belgium Day Blazer 15-packs, $14.95. Victory Summer Love 15-packs are $9.95. Zima 24-pack bottles, $15.95. And Coors Light 16-ounce 24-pack cans are $16.88. And a great lineup of holiday seasonal beers in stock as well. And you got, like, Sam Adams has a seasonal beer. And you have
get gift cards.
And
come
that's
on.
Right.
You gotta push gift cards.
I was moving right up to that. Yes, now it is official. Gift card.
You gotta move faster.
Yes.
you gotta move fast.
Speaking of moving, buy gift cards. Brewers Outlet, the beverage supermarket, Reagan Street, Sunbury. Get moving. Get the gift cards, man. Speaking of moving, my goodness, you have been moving nonstop for the last week and a half, and let me be the first to say to you, welcome home.
Oh, thank you. It's great to be back, actually. I don't say, how could you possibly? No. You want to be back. That's, I'm thrilled to be back. Great to be. I have not done a show in this studio in 9 days. How about that? Think about that. I have not done a show here in the studio, here in the home studio, in 9 days. Wow.
I think that's the longest stretch.
Yeah, that sounds like it would be the longest stretch.
Yeah, got to be long. No vacation in the mix. I mean, yeah, I would think. Yeah, that's got to be the longest stretch.
Yeah, I'll take my word. There's been no vacation in the mix. No.
Even though you were at a, let's just face it, a tremendous vacation destination for so many people.
Beautiful, gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous where I was. I mean, I sent you a picture of just the view from the room, which was awesome.
Yeah, you told me 100 steps from the Gulf of Mexico. What a tremendous shot, showing the Gulf there, and a nice, beautiful view.
Well, in fact, if you stand on the shore, you can see Cozumel. That's a lot of people don't realize how close Cozumel is to the shore. So, yeah. It's an absolutely beautiful place, and it's all inclusive and everything. It's really they do a great job there with it. They do a great job. It's a beautiful resort, and it's about an hour south of Cozumel. So in other words, we left the hotel yesterday at noon. Maybe we got on the road. Maybe got on the road at 12:30. We had to check out by noon. I think we got on the road by 12:30, and we got back at 11 o'clock last night. So that's how long it takes because we had to fly into Pittsburgh. We wanted to fly into State College, but we can't. It's not an international airport because you got to, again, you got to come back in. You got to go through customs. I don't think did I tell the Jeff Tarman story the other day?
Here on the show? I don't think you did. No. Something that happened there?
Well, just getting in.
Oh, okay. Did it have something to do with the radio gear?
Yes.
I know you told me that off air, but I can't remember if you talked about it on air. But I know you told me off air about it.
Yeah, it's it has nothing to do with his luggage. It has to do with the radio gear. Okay, that's fine. And so, we knew he was going to have to check it through, just like the team doctor, Dr. Gregory Billy, and the team trainer, Jonathan Salazar, had all the medical stuff. So they had to, check through it. You have to declare it. Well, they look at all the medical stuff, which is all sorts of, let's face it. They're like, literally, one of them said to them, that we literally don't know what half this stuff is. Okay, that was reassuring. And they go through. Okay. Now they get to Jeff's stuff, Jeff Tarman. All right. So they're looking at Jeff's stuff. And so Dick and I, follow the team out, but we stay in the team's outside, but we stay in the terminal. We're going to wait for Jeff. Okay? That's what you do. You always, quote, wait for your teammate. You always do that. All right? And so Dick and I are standing there, and there's no Jeff. Like, holy mackerel. So Dick says, all right. He says, I better get a hold of Jeff. I said, okay, well, fine. While you do that, I'll call, because we had two buses. So, okay, that helped. That helped us with this. I said, you call Jeff. I'll call Rose Carter on the bus and tell them that Jeff's still in there, so we need to have bus 2 held. So I call Rose. I tell her what the deal is. She says, absolutely, we're not, everybody's already said here in the bus, we're not going to leave without you guys. If not, then we have to take a cab. But they're like, no, we're not going to leave. Well, Dick calls Jeff. And when he does, okay, no answer. Like, what the heck? No answer. Then, I'm done with Rose, and I said, what did Jeff say? He says, geez, I don't know. He said, I couldn't get through to him. Like, okay, that's not really reassuring. Right? Then all of a sudden, Dick's phone rings, and it's from, quote, unknown. So Dick answers it. Figured there was a good chance it probably was not some digital media company in Monterey.
He's like, It's like, why is Shawn trying to call me? It's like, what?
This is digital media in Monterey calling. Okay, talk about luck.
So when he tried to call Tarman, the phone just rang and rang. It didn't go to voicemail, or it just
it went to voicemail. It went to voicemail.
Oh, it went to voicemail. Okay.
Yeah, it went to voicemail. It was like, geez, okay, it's odd that Jeff didn't answer. That was the odd part. Jeff did not answer. All right. So, okay. Now, then Dick's phone rings. It's from unknown. They would not allow Jeff to answer his phone. So he had to take one of their phones and call Dick back. Well, evidently, they don't know what the radio equipment is. They're going through everything saying, well, what about this and what about that? They're asking him 1,000 questions, and they're not letting him through. Finally, now this whole thing takes 45 minutes. So they hang up, and it takes longer and longer. And Dick says, I'm going to go back in. And all of a sudden, he walks up to the door to go back in. The door only opens one way, and that's to exit. So Dick couldn't get the automatic door to open on our side. It comes up red, wouldn't do it. So we looked at it and say, uh-oh. Well, finally, after 45 minutes, Jeff comes out. He had to pay 13,000 pesos to get yonder case through. And in. Now, you're saying, well, how much is that? $640. So 13,000 pesos, $640. Now, he calls Doug Nelson over at Learfield when this is all said and done and says, Doug, you wouldn't believe what happened here. He says, he tells me. He tells me. He couldn't believe it. Now, what they wanted, this is what they wanted. What they wanted was the reason he got tagged for is that, quote, you should have hired somebody down here to do this, and because you didn't, we are going to charge you. All right. Now, he had no problem. We went through Pittsburgh last night. We had no problem going through Pittsburgh last night. Yeah. We just literally walked in, walked out. We were done. Got on the bus and then came back here. I got back about 11 last night. But that's why we've been kidding Jeff. So I got it, So, of course, that you know us.
We assure you, we're not using this equipment to get in touch with North Korea. We're just here to call basketball games. This is a business trip.
Oh, for goodness sakes. People in your country go over to Cuba all the time, really. Seriously. Hey, let's get serious.
Even if we were going to use this gear to connect with North Korea, they probably wouldn't be able to accept it anyway. They're not as up to date as we are.
We know how it works, people. Okay? We got it. All right? So we finally. So then we get on the bus, and of course, you know me. Said, well, it's the first time I've ever been to a place where I felt we needed a GoFundMe page to get somebody out. And then they said, how did it go? So I think it was Jim Ferry, one of the coaches, and he and Keith Ergo said, so how did it go? I said, not as well as we hoped. They released him.
We told him to hide some of the gear in with his Liverpool swag, but he wouldn't listen to us.
The problem was the Liverpool swag, I assure you. Like, what?
And at least one Liverpool reference dropped by Girardi during the broadcast. Yes,
not in this country, buddy boy. Liverpool doesn't fly in this country. But again, in the end, he doesn't have to worry about it. Why? Because it just puts it on the expense report. All right. So there we are.
The Penn State basketball guys were $640 over budget. Look at this stipend. What was good? What was going on there?
Yesterday, Dick took a commercial flight back to Philadelphia. And he was going to take a cab, but his flight was delayed, so he took the bus over. Cab ride would have been $60. I said, see now, Jeff, look at that. We are now actually only down $580.
He's like, where's Ron Mueller when I need him? Wonder if we went out of the country for Thanksgiving.
Mole man, start peeling. Start peeling the cash. So when they give you those declaration forms, check no. We'll come back with more in a moment as we continue on News Radio 1070 WKOK, brought to you by Brewers Outlet.
SMC is where you want to be for your next new F-150. And everything's starting with E. Make 2018 a November to remember with savings up to $13,000 on your next new Ford F-150. Sunbury Motors has F-150s starting at $25,669. All SUVs with the letter E will plummet in price for SMC's November to remember. 67 Ford Escapes, 23 EcoSports, 22 Explorers, all at one location. Brand new Ford Escapes starting at an unheard of $17,820. If you haven't looked into the all-new Ford EcoSport, now is the time. 2019 Ford EcoSports start at $19,880. SMC has the SUV that started it all, the Ford Explorer, for under $32,000. Hurry now to SMC so you can show off your brand new Ford at your holiday dinner or to the buddies at Deer Camp. Sunbury Motors in the 4th Street Auto Plaza, Sunbury.
It's turkey time, hunting time. It's Brewers Outlet time. Genesee 12-pack cans only $4.95. Labatt 30-pack bottles $19.95. Seagram's 24-pack bottles $21.98. Brewers Outlet with imports, microbrews, sodas, snacks, lottery tickets, and of course the pickle bar. New Belgium 15-packs $14.95. Coors Light 16-ounce cans $16.98. The Beverage Supermarket has all your party needs, even gift cards. And don't forget the Jenny $4.95 a 12-pack in cans. Brewers Outlet, Reagan Street, Sunbury.
You know, that Geico commercial, talking about the young man hoping the pros will notice him in college and then ends up in the band. Did that sound eerily familiar to you on a personal level?
How about that? Yeah. The colleague's young squire? Yeah, I think so.
Otherwise known as SL. Suit Light. Now, is the Great American Hunter going out on Monday?
I didn't think he was. I could have sworn we were kind of going back and forth at a meeting earlier this month. I could have sworn he told me he didn't re-up his license this year.
Much to the relief of many in the woods. Oh, thank goodness.
They're like,
okay.
Yes.
Good news. He's out.
No, he's been off all this week, so he'll be back on Monday. So,
you know, it's interesting. I was talking to Jamie. She said she didn't notice any difference. All right, so drive back on the road, Jamie. Drive back on the road. All right. I have to tell you a quick hunting story when we come back about a friend of mine. Today's show brought to you by Brewers Outlet, Reagan Street in Sunbury, the Beverage Supermarket. Hey, make sure you're fully stocked for the hunting camp. Okay? Enjoy. We're in the Sunbury Motors studio. Sunbury Motors, 4th Street in Sunbury. Sunbury Motors, Keywords 11 at 15. And
Nottingham Village in North.
Taking your calls at 800-795-9565. This is the Steve Jones Show on News Radio 1070 WKOK. Now, from the Sunbury Motors studio, here's Steve Jones.
Great to have you with us on this Black Friday. Hopefully you did a great job out there and were able to get the gifts that you wanted. And I sincerely hope that when you did it, you shopped local. Look, online's great, I get it. But we have a lot of incredible local merchants. One of which being, of course, our good friends at Brewers Outlet, Reagan Street in Sunbury. The Beverage Supermarket imports, domestics, microbrews, best selection of beer anywhere, wine coolers, water, soft drinks, snacks. They roast their peanuts fresh and hot every day. And the Pickle Bar is indeed, led by the Barrels and the Dills, I might add, second to none. Plus, start getting your holiday gift cards right now at Brewers Outlet. I mean, that's that's great. I mean, tells them how much you care. Gift cards from Brewers Outlet. And we are in the Sunbury Motors studio. Sunbury Motors, 4th Street in Sunbury. Sunbury Motors, Kia, routes 11 and 15 in Hummel's Wharf. Much to the relief of many, and I've had several emails here in the last 10 minutes about the announcement we made, the suit's not going to be going out. It appears to be, mostly relief.
Yeah.
Mostly, that's what I don't know about you. That's what I was finding, relief.
Safety first.
Friend of mine goes out into the woods last year hunting with his father. Now, it's always been that when he goes out with his father and they hunt on the opening day of deer season, that no matter which one gets the kill, the son is the one that brings the deer out. Okay. So they're out there, and I don't remember which one of the two got it, but the son starts taking the deer out. About halfway back to the vehicle, he puts the deer down. He just needs a break. I mean, not exactly the lightest animal on the face of the earth. Okay. And he puts the deer down. The father looks at him and says, what are you doing? He says, well, I'm just taking a break, Pop. He says, come on, what's wrong with you? What are you doing? He looks over and he goes, Dad, I'm 60 years old now. And father looks at him with this oh my God. You're right. I'm not 30 anymore, Dad. I'm not 40 anymore. I'm 60 now. He says, just give me 5 here. He told me that story. It was like one of those revelation moments. My goodness. Oh. Wow.
Yeah, if he was 40, he could have broke off his best Mike Gundy impression. Come on, I'm a man. I'm 40.
Yeah.
but no.
He said, look, he says, Dad, I'm 60 years old. And the father, and it's almost like it, how you always look at your children. You always look at your children as your children. You forget that they too age.
Well, Pops must have been at least in his 80s or something, so yeah, he must have been,
84. 84.
It's been moving
84.
swiftly there through the woods. Well done.
And I know the guy's father. Yeah. Awesome guy. But it was just one of those, for Dad, whoa. I guess you are. I guess you are. Wow.
Then on the way home, they had the AARP talk.
Yeah.
Just sign up. You can get great deals there. Lots of
incredible
discounts.
stuff. Well, you can get let's go to Dunkin' Donuts. We can both get a senior discount. How did you know? Well, somebody sold me digital media. It's on an app.
Check that free box. Check that yes box. You get a free vacation bag. Perfect for a weekend trip.
Unbelievable. So hopefully you had a chance to shop local today. We mentioned the gift cards from Brewers Outlet. And remember, at Sunbury Motors, November's a big sales month as well. And they have great deals along the way. And with the holiday season, is there a better gift than a car? Wow.
Well, you just shared a great hunting story. I mean, come on. Ford F-150. About a built Ford Tough truck. Get one tomorrow before you head out to deer camp.
That would be smart and awesome.
Brag your buddies, you got a new F-150.
And not only that, but it's something for the next year you're going to enjoy every single day, the fact that you have it. That's all at Sunbury Motors, 4th Street in Sunbury. Sunbury Motors Kia, routes 11 and 15 in Hummel's Wharf. A lot going on today. Maybe Black Friday. I mean, Black Friday's starting to settle down, obviously. And then we have Cyber Monday coming up. Maybe that's why the suit's coming back. Cyber Monday.
Ooh, okay, yeah.
No. No. Jamie's in the car right now. No. She's like, no, this can't be. But Cyber Monday's coming up. But there's actually a lot of college football being played today. We're going to talk more about it when we do our picks in the next half hour. But two of the games that we are picking today will be the Apple Cup tonight between Washington and Washington State in Pullman, and Oklahoma and West Virginia. Those are two of the games on our pick'em for today that we're going to have. So it's not just the games coming up tomorrow. There are big games tonight. Oklahoma, West Virginia is on ESPN tonight. Fox has Washington State. And I'm going to kick back, and I'm just going to settle in, rest, and do nothing. I've got everything done for tomorrow. Did the pregame this afternoon with James, so that's all set and set to go. Let's get you up to date on some of the games that are happening today. Nothing really this afternoon is surprising based on some of the scores I saw a little bit earlier. So nothing really is that surprising yet on the scoreboard. No. Talk about bad luck. Now, I call up ESPN. What do I still get?
Oh, did your screen come up with everything in Spanish?
It's all in Spanish. I think even the target dog looks like a Chihuahua.
Wait, the Taco Bell dog, he now works for Target. Wait a minute, what?
It's just their way of keeping things cool.
Iowa defeated Nebraska earlier today, 31-28 in Iowa City.
Yeah, everything I've got here is soccer scores. Like, no, it's not how this works.
Tottenham Hotspur and Chelsea tomorrow, Saturday, 12:30. Nice little.
You could forget that. You could forget that. Tottenham and Chelsea. Forget it. Come on.
DVR's all set.
You're really going to watch that?
Sure.
Really?
Yeah. I won't. I'll watch it maybe Saturday night, Sunday morning, in between the Penn State game and the Steelers game. I won't watch it live.
Okay.
But DVR's set.
Very nice.
Yeah, I haven't seen Chelsea live on TV in a couple of weeks. Premier League was on international break last week. And the last couple of times Chelsea played Premier League games, they weren't on NBCSN. They were on the NBC Gold package. You have to subscribe and pay for that.
Huh.
So we'll catch up with Chelsea over the weekend.
I know you hate that.
Oh, I did. Well, one of the games they played Fulham, and I think they're currently either 19th or 20th, so they're like in the bottom three right now. And Fulham got promoted back up to Premier League this year, but they're struggling, not doing too well. That's the team that the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars owns.
I understand they are not enamored with him because of that. All right, that he owns the team. It's not like, look at Liverpool. Right, John Henry, who owns the Red Sox, owns Liverpool.
Yeah,
and they love him. They love him.
And Stan Kroenke, who owns the Rams, and of course he owned them when they were in St. Louis. He owns Arsenal.
Yeah, it's true. Kroenke also owns the Avalanche, the Nuggets, and the Colorado Rapids in MLS. Owns all of those. Let's see here. So let's get you up to date on the full scoreboard today. Texas is in trouble. They have been playing. Kansas has put together a furious fourth quarter rally. It's now 24-17 Texas. And Texas finally just won it. 24-17. How about that? That actually does not hurt Penn State. I mean, the fact that they played Kansas and that was it, that's I mean, and Kansas had them on the ropes.
And now the Les Miles era can officially begin at Kansas.
What a relief.
Yeah.
We'd all been hoping. The hat is back. Yeah, let's see here. Mickelson, by the way, 1 up through 2. Did Mickelson birdie the first hole? Do you know the story about that?
I thought that didn't he and Tiger have like a $200,000 bet or a $250,000 bet on the first hole alone?
Phil said I would birdie the first hole.
I don't think he did. I'll look it up.
He's 1 up, so I bet he won the hole. Whatever he won some hole through 2. So I don't know if he won the 1 or 2, but Mickelson's 1 up right now. Mickelson won the second hole. He parred the first hole. 200,000 gone. Unless they both birdied it. Let's see. Phil and Tiger ready to bet on the course. It's great. Let's embrace it. Phil unable to convert at the first, and Tiger has an extra 200,000 for his foundation. Right?
Well, there you go. If it goes to the foundation, then that's cool.
Tiger says to Phil, who said, laments that the putt did not break, and Tiger looks up and goes, good speed. Phil won the second hole. He's 1 up. They're playing in Las Vegas, by the way. In Las Vegas. But Texas won today. UCF's going to play South Florida coming up. Texas survived. They hung on. 24-17. How about that? Let's see. Let's check out the box score in that game. Yeah, it looks bad. All right. So, but, yeah. That's not exactly, of course, maybe Texas was feeling a little down because it couldn't take Bevo on the trip. Yeah, no Bevo, no mojo. No, I don't think so.
And tonight for Washington State, there's no Washington marching band. They're not going to be there tonight. A bus carrying members of the band rolled over on an icy highway on Thursday night.
Yes.
The bus was one of 6 carrying the band members and chaperones across the state. 56 people were on board the bus that flipped over. 47 had to be taken to local hospitals for evaluation. And as of earlier today, 2 remained under medical care for injuries, but at least not believed to be life-threatening, according to a statement from the school.
Wow. Yeah, I saw a picture of the bus. It was awful. They're so fortunate. It's just cuts, some sore backs. Ooh. It's incredible they got out of there. Here are the other scores today. Missouri leads Arkansas 21-0. To Arkansas's credit, they're bad. Virginia Tech and Virginia scoreless 10 minutes ago, first quarter. Cincinnati's jumped out in a 7-0 lead over East Carolina 10 minutes ago, first quarter. As you mentioned, Iowa beat Nebraska 31-28. Nebraska tried to rally in the fourth quarter. They scored 15 fourth-quarter points, came out 3 short. Ohio University beat Akron 49-28. Buffalo, which is now 10-2, beat Bowling Green 44-14. Toledo beat Central Michigan 51-13. Eastern Michigan beat Kent State 28-20. Memphis down Houston 52-31. Memphis scored 21 unanswered in the fourth quarter to win that game 52-31. Oregon and Oregon State just getting underway. Central Florida, South Florida just getting underway. Oklahoma at West Virginia tonight. Washington at Washington State tonight. So there you go. That gets you up to date on all the scores. We will come back with more in a moment. Brought to you by Brewers Outlet, Reagan Street in Sunbury on News Radio 1070 WKOK. Senior Day coming up tomorrow. As Penn State takes on Maryland, Maryland needs a win to be bowl eligible. Penn State might be playing for bigger stakes than that. They're already obviously bowl eligible, but could they possibly reach a third straight New Year's Six game? Well, the only way they can at least keep themselves in the conversation for that is by winning tomorrow at Beaver Stadium. We'll have it for you here on News Radio 1070 WKOK at 2 o'clock tomorrow with 3:30 being the kickoff. They're going through their last walkthrough right now. It's interesting. You watch. I feel like they've become the last 2 weeks. You're always looking for weekly improvement. Well, the last 2 weeks, I felt like they got better. And I think that's one of the biggest pluses I've seen. Defensively, you can see they're getting better all the time. But offensively, I think there'll be some dismissal of the fact, like, oh, it was Rutgers. And I get that. I understand that. I got that. But at the same time, it's also the same Rutgers defense that held Northwestern 18 points. Northwestern won the game 18-15 over Rutgers. So it's not as if they've turned in a bunch of lousy performances at Rutgers. I mean, obviously, they had the game 7-7 with Michigan. Then Michigan overran them 42-7. But that Northwestern game was at least something where you sit back and say, they might be a little bit better than we thought. So now I go back to the last drive Penn State had. And on that last drive they had, I think they ran the 4-minute offense the way James has been hoping to see it run. And he and I did talk about that today when I was up in his office about that. And obviously what takes the shine off, because I said to him today when we were talking up there, I said, James, I said, I altered my first question in the post-game show. He said, would you change it to? I said, well, I left one part out. He said, what do you mean? He says, I said, I was going to ask you not just about the first half drive where you got the 3 points, the one timeout, minute 5, 79 yards they went. They came up a yard short, but they got 3. So they got something out of it where they ran that one pretty efficiently. I said, I was then going to couple it with your 4-minute offense where you picked up the 3 first downs on third down, and Rutgers had called a timeout in each one, and you then converted. I said, but I didn't ask that because Miles Sanders fumbled. He goes, yeah. He says, I know. He says, he said it took the whole shine off of it. He says, because we wanted to close the game out on our terms. I said, well, exactly. I said, I wanted to ask it, but when he fumbled, I kind of thought, well, maybe I'll withdraw that and I'll save it for the pregame. And he said, yeah. He said, that makes sense. And I said, and then so in the pregame, I did ask the question, but he and I were talking about that today. But that's how they've wanted to do it, where they wanted to eat up clock, eat up yards, get first downs, eat up timeouts by the opponent. So they did everything the way they wanted to, except it didn't end. And I said, that's why I just didn't feel like I'd ask the question.
You're listening to News Radio 1070 WKOK Sunbury. You can hear us anywhere in the world with the Sunbury Broadcasting Corporation app.